Most wins in Vikings game. Congratulations, guys. We'll go on 3. Let's go, Tino. Go!
Three, a little unproven, right? You're coming off almost pretty much a year off, so it's going to take a little bit to get the game speed back because we've all been there. We've all missed a little time, and when you come back after taking, well, a whole year off per se, like I've missed a few games. It takes a bit, right, to get it back. So we got to be patient with Jackson Smith and Jigba, but he will be that guy. I mean, he is smooth. I mean, he is the slot guy. You watch the little highlights of him at Ohio State, and I mean, it's so fun to know that that is your guy now. DK, I mean, what else is there to say about him? I mean, he is the face of the receiving corps. Only because Tyler Lockett is so underrated. You would think it'd be think it would be Locke because he's been around for so long and he's just made play after play, and he is on all kinds of lists out there as most underrated player now. So he's getting recognition as being underrated.
I know,
so if that's something.
So can you rate him?
If that's
drills, skills. So, they work on simulating tackling. Like you see right now, they got pads in their on their hands there, and that's because they don't really do live tackling. So you're always trying to simulate what it could look like along the way. So as we continue on with the 2023 training camp live powered by Boeing, we're going to talk about some key battles. And there are some battles out there where the rookies are – where I was going to – what's interesting is not only did we pick the best players at that time when we drafted – we also got players that we went, we need depth there. They're going to have a chance to develop and play early. And again, that's why I looked at every single player and the position they're at. It's really intriguing. Like even getting McIntosh in the 7th round, you go, we need another running back.
Right.
I don't need him to start. I need him to be able to fill in maybe some third down stuff, maybe be a change of pace guy. But more importantly, we know how guys get nicked up. K9, Kenneth Walker, the third, he's not real big,
right?
But you want to give him 20 to 25 touches some way. Doesn't have to always be with running it between the tackles. It could be coming out of the backfield as well. And then you throw.
I'd love to see that. I think we're going to get into the wideouts a little bit later. So I'll go next. Are the round two picks. That's who intrigues me the most. The first off, you have Derek Hall. I watched a little tape on him, and man, he's went against the best tackles in the SEC all year long, and I mean he made some of them look silly, and that's exactly what the Seahawks need. To play opposite of Uchenna would give Darrell Taylor a little run for his money, and he's a physical specimen, and he made plays in the toughest conference in college football, and you just can't wait to see him bring that out here to camp and into the season. And then you go to the running back, right? Zach Charbonnet. I mean, you have Travis Homer gone, and you have Rashad Penny gone. The running back room is a lot different.
Right.
He's going to be asked to do a lot this year. He's going to hopefully be Kenneth Walker's backup, right? That's the plan, as long as, Kenny McIntosh has something to say about it. But that's why they drafted him, and he's coming in with high expectations to be maybe that third down back. He's going to have to catch a lot of passes. He did that in college. He's proven he can do it. And he's just that solid running back. I don't think he's the breakaway speed. He's going to outrun everybody. But, man, he knows his ball security. If you watch him, he's always high and tight. You can
lost in the wash, but the Seahawks had their eye on him. So just excited to see what he's going to bring to the table and what he's going to add to that to that really crowded DB room. With Witherspoon, with him, and then with Brown and Mike Jackson and Kobe Bryant, and all the, I think already, some of the players that are coming back, and that competition. Really interested to see how he's going to handle that. And then I'm going to jump all the way down to later into the draft. And one of the, like you said, the one kid that's really intriguing is the big defensive lineman from Michigan,
Morris.
Because he, when you see him walk around, man, there's so much more he can add to his body. Like in his shoulder area, chest area, he can be a lot bigger. I think he tried to mimic Aiden Hutchinson when he was at Michigan. He wanted to be like that type of player, so he played a little bit lighter. But with his height, with his length, add some more weight, and then with some experience, I think he could be a really good, a really solid football player along the defensive line. And then obviously Oluwatimbe, only because I've known this dude forever. And when he came to Virginia, I met him, and his story is a story that Pete loves. He went from Air Force to Virginia, from Virginia to Michigan, and so his story is an awesome one to follow. But then just his ability to play the center position, I think, is elite, and it's just unfortunate for him that it went that late, but fortunately that he came here because he's going to have an opportunity to play right away.
Yeah, when I look at Oluwatimbe, and he's certainly going to be battling to start on there. That's their expectation. What impresses me is not just him winning the Remington Trophy as the nation's top center. He was also a finalist the year before when he was in the ACC. So he's played not only in the Big Ten, he's played in the ACC. He's seen different competitions, different type of defenses. His build looks really good. I mean, so like anything, there's a reason. Obviously, you're not a number. Defensive tackle from Mississippi State, our 4th-round pick, really good-looking athlete. Has a chance to push. Defensive end Mike Morris. When you guys see him, 5th-round pick out of Michigan, he's either going to be the steal of the draft or he's going to take time to develop. But he's almost every guy has a legit chance to make the team and might make the team. Mm-hmm. So let's go through our unbelievable draft class from this past draft for coming into 2023. And look, arguably last year's draft was one of the great ones in Seahawk history too. That's got to play out. But what they did just from a playing time standpoint last year, they helped this team. I mean, you start one with Charles Cross, who we kind of expected to do well, Abe Lucas, who was a big surprise, and obviously, Reek Woolen was the big one there. But let's start off with Devin Witherspoon. He's not in camp right now. He's going to have a battle a little bit right now on probably some guaranteed money. It's tricky nowadays. It's not really tricky. I mean, it's set. You get drafted. You know what you're going to get from a contract. Where they start to battle is
on the PUP list. So it's good that these guys can kind of get a little extra time to kind of get themselves together. Get healed up and then get back without having the jeopardy of missing games.
And obviously the first 2 guys on the list, Jamal Adams and Jordan Brooks, it's no surprise. We knew that they were going to start on the PUP, and you really have no timetable when they will actually be back. It's just a waiting game. But the one I look at on this list, Reek Woolen, it could end up, hear me out here, could end up being a good thing for the secondary, getting other guys in there and a chance, because the secondary is so deep, right? Mm-hmm. And at the start of this training camp with Reek out, you're going to get some guys in there able to get the reps so you can really see who's going to take that spot, right? That nickel spot. Who's going to be that nickel guy? Who's going to be that, the backup corner? Because this secondary is insane, right? I mean, we all look at it and you're like, you have 5 corners that could start on almost any team, for the most part. And so it's going to get some guys in there and they're going to get some reps and they're going to be able to evaluate, number 3, 4, 5 guy in the cornerback room. So we'll see. Yeah,
no, you're right. At corner, the only thing the reason I want Reek Woolen in now, he needs reps. As good a season he had, he needs to play, and he needs to play with all these guys in here. And you mentioned the depth at the cornerback. He had Kobe Bryant last year who played well. To me, he's got to take another step, and there's going to be some competition in that nickel spot. Mike Jackson has had a phenomenal offseason. They've been talking about him since day one. And while we're going to talk about the rookies here, the rookie class coming up, Devin Witherspoon, very gifted. Mike Jackson ain't giving that up.
Right.
He is going to fight for it, and he's
Trey Brown is in there.
So very excited. We're going to talk about all the additions. Who's actually on the physically unable to perform also, which is important. That we'll bring up. A big contract extension just happened yesterday. We had a Uchenna Nwosu who absolutely deserved this 3-year extension.
You had Jordan Brooks go down, and that's a big loss for especially the start of the season. And then a guy like Cody Barton, going somewhere else. So the linebacker depth was getting a little subject there.
Right.
And you didn't really know, but having Bobby come in to fill that spot as that veteran, I think is really big. And now, you have Devin Bush coming in, but there's a lot of question marks at that linebacker position.
Yeah.
And having Bobby there just stabilizes everything. Even though he may not be the same as he used to, he's still going to have his presence there and make an impact in games.
Yeah, I'm excited about all these additions. I really look at this team, and I think we're stronger at every position. And some of that is just our youth, getting more mature. Obviously, Geno Smith. I mean, for him to have a full year now as a veteran, I call him a young 32-year-old because he hasn't been hit a lot. Let me set the scene here a little bit for you. What are you looking at? We're going to show you practice. We heard you, 12s. We're not going to show our ugly mugs. We're going to show you what you guys want you there along the way. Noah Fant is on. You got Brian Monet, another guy who had an injury late in the season. And then finally, Reek Woolen. And that's right, you heard that right. Reek Woolen, he's changed his name from Tariq to Reek, and that actually helps me because I always screwed up his first name anyways. He had a little bit of a knee issue in OTAs. That's probably going to be back here relatively soon, so I don't think they're too worried about that. But of those, I mean, obviously – all of those names are big. I mean, they're huge contributors. But which one, real quick on those, do you want back the quickest?
I would say Reek Woolen, just so he can just continue the momentum that he had. But then the intriguing one is going to always be Jamal Adams, because when Jamal Adams is at his best, he's like something we've never seen. You know what I'm saying?